Good evening. Welcome to our Monday, April 10th, 2023 board meeting, regular board meeting agenda. This is our 5:30 to 6 p.m. session. Call to order at 5:36. Can we have a roll call, please?
Laster,
Present.
Davis, Evans,
Present.
Files present, McCarthy,
Present.
Kennard,
Here.
Wester.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Let me stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Davis is here. We have acceptance of the agenda. Move that the Board of Education accept the meeting agenda as presented. Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Wester, supported by Evans. Roll call.
Evans,
Yes.
Piles, yes. Kennard. Yes. McCarthy,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Wester.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We have a presentation that we're going to have by Mr. Bill Garland. If you'd like to come forward, please.
Good evening, Board President Wester, board members, and Dr. Edmondson. The presentation is going to be a joint effort. We're here to bring forth an FYI on redoing our football field, the track, and the athletic complex area. We have brought a representative from Shaw to come up, and she can answer some questions for you. And the reason being is that our field is well past its life. It was so well done that we actually got 8 extra years out of this field. But it is definitely time to move forward. The track is in disarray. It's begun to delaminate from the asphalt surface, and so that isn't even usable this year for our meets. That being said, we'd like to allow you to ask any questions you would like to have about why we're doing it, how we came forward to go ahead and move forward with the project, and the timelines in which we would like to get it done.
Mr. Billy, I have a question. So you said that the track is not usable at all this year?
Well,
Or it's, because I thought I read in the thing that, in the presentation, that it was for a week?
no, the track isn't safe for meets. For a competition type setup, it is delaminating. It has been
No,
delaminating.
but I mean after the repair, after the replacement.
No, yeah, but after a week, we're good.
Okay,
We'll be
all
able
right,
to
okay, I
fully open the
misunderstood.
track.
Okay.
Yes.
Madam Chair. Mr. Garland, just for our public and just so we all have a common understanding, could you just briefly go over what's being presented for us?
Yes, so what we're looking to do today is to totally replace the entire turf area. Oh, that's not me. The entire turf area, as well as our entire track. This would be upgrading the system where we would come in and they would, what they call de-skin it, pull it back, add wherever we needed to add for compression, and then put in the mat, which is an anti-shock pad, and then re-skin the surface. And the reason why we're trying to accelerate it now is if we delay, we may lose the field in the next year or so. And moving forward, if we do it in this manner, we don't have to upgrade all the storm tech, and we know what we went through with the middle school this year already. All that storm tech having to be upgraded accelerated the cost by almost $1 million, and it would do something similar, if not more, to this because it's new law. But this way, because we're just removing the top, not changing the structure, we don't have to do all those additions, which we've done several already at the middle school. Would you like to come up and say?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Holton, the Territory Manager for Shaw Sports Turf up here in Michigan. A little background on me, I played collegiate soccer on turf, came out of college, got this opportunity with Shaw. Shaw is a Berkshire Hathaway company, a flooring company, the largest owned and operated synthetic turf manufacturer here in the U.S. I've been doing this since 2015. We've got over 60 fields in the state of Michigan. This summer, some of the ones that we'll be doing include Dearborn High School, Ferndale High School, Bloomfield Hills. We've done others in the area, Hamtramck, to be one of the older ones prior to this one. That said, my background a little bit, so Bill had it right here, but it's a simpler process than building a new field because you already have your structure and your base. You already have your stone. You've already pulled out all the soil, subcompacted the base, put down a geotextile fabric. Then you've got your stone. That's compacted and graded. And then on top lays your turf currently. Same way for your track, very similar build. So yeah, in this process, all we're doing is removing the existing turf, removing the existing track layer, which is a polyurethane mat right now. Underneath that is the asphalt that he talked about. I think there are a couple spots that we're going to keep an eye on for repair on the asphalt, very minimal, just to get it to grade. Then resurface the whole track. With the turf system, I wanted to make note, and you mentioned, in this, we are going to try to add a shock pad. About 90% of the public schools are going that direction from a liability standpoint. And what I mean by that, and what he had mentioned, if you don't do this, you know, your field is 24 years old. Usually fields go 12 to 14 years, so you've definitely got your life out of it, which is awesome. But now the problem with it is that the fiber has degraded so much and the infill has moved out so much and compacted very tightly that we use something called a Gmax test, and that's basically head to surface interaction. If the Gmax is over 200 on the field, that is basically like your head going through a windshield in a car accident. So if it's over 200 on our score, we can have an independent test done, but the field actually is condemned and gets shut down. So then you can't play any sports on it. With adding the shock pad that I'm mentioning, this is 25-year warranty. So you'll get this for, hopefully our field goes 25 years. No promises, but put this down, it goes in between your stone layer, then you put your shock pad, and then you put your new turf. And then you would infill it, which is what my box sample looks like there, with rubber and sand inside of there. So you'd be getting the addition of the pad now, 25-year warranty, and that keeps your Gmax under 135 for the 25 years. So currently this field, maybe Gmax at 200, I don't even know. Maybe 190, something like that. This guarantees you for 25 years, under 135. So even if you didn't want to replace the carpet for 25 more years, you'd be safe from a Gmax standpoint. Now, granted, your fibers are going to wear down again and similar process. But so that's what you're getting from that standpoint. Now, the design, I know that was a little bit of a talking point. It definitely doesn't have to be that. We have a new patented technology that I wanted to show some pictures of too. But basically, everything in that design there is stitched in, where currently, if you were to take a walk on your field now, your numbers, your letters, your hash marks, your soccer line packages, those are all cut in currently, cut and glued. they will be stitched in like carpet, like a rug. So when we roll out those panels, they're 15-foot wide panels. When we roll it out, it's all stitched in. So roll out a panel, it'll say Romulus. Roll out a panel, you'll see the bird, wings, whatnot, the beak. The only thing not in this current image that would be cut and glued is the big R, and that is because we can only stitch in 3 colors per panel. It's just a maximum. We just rolled the technology out this past year, so we got to pay back the money, return on investment, whatnot. But yes, that is a patented technology. So I know you guys having a field before, I'm sure you've had maintenance issues, and Bill, you can probably speak to that. But inlays coming up, those would be covered under warranty if we didn't do that, way. But the way it's priced right now is with this new technology. So you will be elite with that design. But I do have a few others. I mean, like I said, these are not set in stone or anything, but you could do something a little less drastic on the R, change the fonts. And I was going to show you, had this up for a second, but Ferndale is doing this summer, so that's going to be really unique with the feather border. Lo and behold, Darren actually, we had a rendering like that for you guys, but he said the feathers may be a bit much, so we took them away, and then Ferndale wanted them, so. But yeah, so I was gonna show here too, some that we have in the ground actually. So that's one that's installed currently with the big watermark, and then a smaller center field logo. Kind of like some tiger paw scratching, baseball, but you can see the mow patterns. Kind of see the border on that one there around the DuQuoin.
I like that.
Yeah, you guys could do something fancy with your border. That's Fraser here locally, over in Macomb County. So, yes. Question. To manufacture the field or to install it? So we would do the removal, which would take about a week, and then 3 weeks to install. So you're looking at a month process. Oh, I'm sorry. So, yeah, from that standpoint, it will take us 4 weeks in our work. The track, actually, it will take 2. Reason is the removal process is about 2 to 3 days. Then they're gonna just check the asphalt, like I said, make sure that's okay. Any minor repairs, maybe a day or 2. And then the recoating will take 6 days. And then they'll reline it and number it, which will be a day. So 2 weeks. They do have availability in May if this were to move forward. And then again, if push come to shove, they would have to come in September. So, which I know you're in season, but we would work together. And then turf-wise, we are currently a 75 to 90-day lead time. So our plan would be to come in mid-July, do the tear out, little bit of touch up on the grading just to make sure no low spots, and then start installing. So we would be done end of August. And I think that's it from my end.
Madam President, can I? So you made reference that our field is ready for soccer also?
Yes.
Okay, and
Sorry, I'll
lacrosse?
throw it back up there.
The
I
reason
did
I'm
not
asking is
put-
just so
Yep.
that we, as we build our sports program, we want to make sure that our field is available for additional activities.
Yep, so the way it is now, I did include soccer. You can see the black line package there, obviously football, and then lacrosse. We could add on, it would not be stitched in, we'd have to cut it in. But regardless, we can do that. The other thing you can do, however, since you don't have lacrosse yet,
No,
okay.
not that I'm aware of. We haven't heard that build yet.
So we do have paint that is unique to synthetic turf, and it's actually paint that you can put on per season. You can put it on for a day and then remove it. Like if you had a pink game and you wanted to paint pink ribbons on there or something in the fall, can remove it. And then you have like really permanent paint. So if you decide, we're sick of painting it, just do it one time and then we've got lacrosse lines.
So for, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but for a not really a big significant price, we could add lacrosse to our field at some point with the paint.
Paint, yes.
Yes, that's with the paint.
Yep. If we had to come back and cut it in later, that would be pricey.
Yeah.
Just because you have to remove the infill, cut through
Right,
the
but,
turf.
but
Yep.
it wouldn't be, like I
Painting,
said,
that's
paint.
no problem.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
There's just, oh, sorry.
You said locally, you've done Frazier's Field and Hamtramck's Field?
Yes.
Okay, about how old are they? Are they relatively new with this technology and the product we'll be using?
Hamtramck was in 2019.
Okay.
This was not the same technology then. They just have a standard material. However, the turf is basically the same product. It's just we put it on a new machine now so it can stitch in the same needle, if you can imagine that. This is all stitched like on a sewing machine, like I said, like a carpet would be or whatnot. It's on a big 15-foot wide, and there's needles that tuft into the backing of it. Now we can pull more colors on.
So looking at this picture, what is stitched on the field? Are the end zones stitched?
Yes, the end zones are stitched.
Okay,
Because we have white, maroon, and black, so those are your three colors.
So the R in the center, is that not the same color?
Okay, so the way it works is each panel is 15 feet wide, so that kind of makes it easy on the football field because 15 feet is 5 yards. So in that panel, you have white, a dark green,
Oh,
a
okay.
light green, so that's your three
Understand,
colors.
right.
Yep. So,
I understand that now, thank you.
yeah, no problem.
And then this would be for Mr. Garland or our AD. Do either of you know what our GMAX is currently? I know that we did have to, I'm thinking in 2017, we had to put a $100,000 Band-Aid, which is a very expensive Band-Aid on our field because we were far above what we could be. And so we had to shut down our fields and then pay that amount to be able to keep them open.
Yeah, what we've done every year is we've had a company come in right before the season starts. They do adding of the crumb, that's the black rubberous substance, and then they do a pre-GMAX testing before we have our GMAX testing. Every year we've passed. Every year except that year in 17, we've passed. But it is 100% nearing the end of its life. The problem is we had that big rain, and there were more green fibers on the track than probably on the field. It's just deteriorating. It's all washing out. And we did some due diligence here. We did our boring samples, which found that we're draining properly, that it's a good soil for drainage. We're gonna do a little bit of inspection on our drainage system. There's a 48-inch, let me see here, 48-inch main that crosses our field. It is part of the creek system that comes all the way from Canton. But it's always been there, it'll always be there. And goes off behind Wick and off to the property, it's Ecorse Creek. We passed all the boring sampling, which we sent that information to Shaw as well. And see where it says the post drain, right there? It's actually, it comes from right here, it runs across our property, comes down, goes into this, and then heads right here. That's where it goes from off to the other properties back there. It's run by Wayne County. We do have a drainage system that comes off the baseball field, pumps completely down our football field. One big line down the middle of our football field. There was one other thing I wanted to share with you. Can't think of it right now.
My last question is, what is the life of this field? I know you said that shock pad has a 25-year warranty, and then you said you hope our field lasts 25 years, but no promises. So what is the promised or guaranteed life of the field?
Yes. So just me being honest and transparent with you, the only two fields that I've ever dealt with that had made it to this type of lifeline were yours and Hamtramck Keyworth Stadium. Outside of that, everything else seems to have replaced at a maximum of 16 years. So Shaw on the across the industry, any turf manufacturer, the warranty is 8 years on the turf, and the pad is 25. The nice thing about Shaw making their own, I'm sorry, I didn't talk about that, but the pad is made by Shaw as well. There are other suppliers out there. With having Shaw making the entire system, your pad and your turf, if there ever is an issue, will be the single source for that. If you were to use a third-party supplier for pad, which we have other partners that we use, it's just that if something goes wrong with the pad, our turf is covering that other manufacturer's pad. So you would have to get someone out to cut through our turf, and then the pad company would have to come in and take care of that. So, but back to what you asked, I would assume this field to go somewhere between, it's probably going to get around 14 to 15 years of life over the pad. If you want to push it farther, no one's holding you back. I'm just being honest with you. That's what I usually tell people.
So the turf has 8-year warranty and the pad 25.
You got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Also, this price here includes all the equipment to maintain it, so that'll help with the life of it. And we'll continue to partner with having the field inspected and adding crumb year by year, because that's something that you have to watch. One thing I do want to make clear, this isn't upgrading everything at the field. We're going to need to do a fence. We're going to need some help with designing. What kind of an entrance do you want? That's not part of this. We're going to need some help with doing some painting on the facilities out there to brighten them, maybe do some nicer things in the locker rooms. But we couldn't include that in this consortium pricing. This pricing is government pricing for this field, for this track, and it wouldn't include those things. So we'll probably be coming back to do those things as well. But this is just for the track, the field, and new goalposts, and all the equipment to maintain the field.
Madam President, Mayor, Mr. Garland, in front of us, the board has two pieces of information from two companies, Shaw being one. And I guess my question would be, were there any other companies that you also looked into, or just these two? And I'm quite sure you did your due diligence, and this is why we're hearing information for Shaw. Other than the price and whoever you consulted with in determining Shaw, what was the determining factor in terms of why this one over the others ones is being brought before us?
Well, we went through a consortium. So the consortiums look at different vendors, and they give us the best option with the best pricing. That's why we chose Shaw. Now, we had talked with IDS when they wanted to design the field, and that price was escalated at about $3.5 million. But that was to do a few more things. And it also included all the storm tech, which would go right here. And they wanted, of course, to include that, but it's not necessary when we're not going to redo all the drainage. And we really don't want to undo what Wayne County just redid with that new post drain. They just came in, they opened that post drain up, and they added some things to it and made it wider. So I don't want to, have a bunch of storm tech put in at our cost for it to really serve no purpose, especially since we had it all put in for our bus loop and our parent drop-off at Wick. And that you guys know, that was very expensive, and it has continued. One of the things we have on our agenda tonight is another getting into our contingency money because that project has been escalated because of Wayne County. So, but we didn't get any other pricing because this is a government vetted pricing, and Shaw is doing Dearborn schools and many other schools in the area. So we felt confident that we could move forward with them. They didn't, the consortium, the Sourcewell, didn't give us a secondary group. So they usually they'll give you a couple, but they didn't. And I think that was why.
Okay, thank you. And also, I was going to ask about that drain issue, because I remember we had at length conversation about possibly having to have that work done before we did anything to the field. I think a couple of years, we have been talking year after year after year, and thank you for bringing that back into the conversation and addressing the fact that it was some work done with it when the road in front of the parking lots was done. So thank you very much for that.
Yes, Trustee Kennard, and that's a good point, because they actually had to expand that drain. They had to open it up because of all the water coming from Canton. So they did that, and so now we don't feel we need to mess with their stuff anymore.
So our field will be safe, is what you're saying.
Well, we've had some torrential rains over the last few years. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, we still have a drainage issue along the entire back of the field, but that is a swale. It is, what it's designed to do is when we have torrential rain, it fills. The one thing we may do in the future, depending on what we do with our middle school baseball, is move that baseball field. It's unplayable till July because it's flooding. So, but that's a talk for another day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garland. And Ms. Jennifer Holton, thank you so much for coming. And Mr. Keskis, thank you so much for all the hard work you guys put into getting this done. Thank you so much.
Madam President, I have a quick question. Is the varsity football coach going to be involved in this process and designing the field? You mentioned that you needed some help, may need some help with that and how you want it to look. I think in the spirit of empowering coaches who coach their respective sport, they should be involved in the process.
Thank you so much, because that's our next call to Dr. Edmondson. We wanted to get some experts, some coaches, some who have stakeholders within the field to help us to design it, and then any extras that we might know that we're going to need moving forward. There's some things that we want to do, like that don't pertain to football, but get rid of some things that are already existing. And if you want, we can see about getting basketball rims put on each of the goalposts, and we can make it 100 yards.
Hit me with a good
No, I'm
time,
just
Mr.
kidding.
Garland.
No, but yes, we want that buy-in. We absolutely need that buy-in.
Microphone.
Mr. Keskis, can you come get the mic? Thank you.
We had some initial conversations back in August when this process kind of started. Like, as you're aware, probably Dr. Edmondson, probably my first conversation I had with Dr. Edmondson was one of the first things I said, if not the first thing, he said, hey, how can I do for you? I said, we need a new field, we need a new track. So it's something I've been, and you know too, that I've been preaching since before I was actually in this position. So, but yeah, so he was in the initial stages, and then it sat for a while. So the design aspect, Jennifer said if we can get approval to move forward, and then the design, that way they can get dirt, shovels in the ground, different things like that. The design process, we can come up with what we want, how we want it to look, with what fonts, what designs, whatever we want. And that's, we've got a few weeks or a month maybe to figure all that out, so.
But let's go a month or less. There's a lead time.
We have 21 days.
I'm excited to see it.
I am
With
too.
our athletics on the rise, nice facilities are important, so very excited.
Madam President, can I ask one question about the quote, please? So on this quote, the price list that we have, there's on Goddard Coatings contingency cost. Now, there's an additional $10,000 for repair along the inside edge. Is that not going to be part of is the whole track going to be repaired? Or are they going to work at the inside edge of track where existing asphalt subbase is sinking in? Are we doing the whole track, or are we patching it?
So the basic substructure, just let me say that, the basic substructure seems to be sound. We've had it checked by that company. We also had Best Asphalt take a look at it. And so we're trying to do our due diligence, and that contingency money is there as a just in case. You always want to build some contingency money into a project for unforeseen things. And Best Asphalt, which is here in Romulus, also had given us a quote if we had to redo the entire thing. Doesn't seem like we would have to do that, and we're hoping that is not the case. But we do have that, and we're hoping that that's not an issue. But exactly, I know exactly where he's talking about. We're going to see what's going on there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a 5-minute recess. All in favor? A motion to do a 5-minute recess.
Sure, okay.
Hey, Darcel, can you go out and get Keski so we can get started?
that spoke last year.
Let me get a medium.
Wow, look at all the
All right,
kids.
thank you so
Nice.
much. We're about to start back up. The next item on our agenda, hello, thank you, is our student spotlight. I'd like to have our district AD come up, Mr. Darren Keskes, and start off with our winter athletic recognition.
President Wester and board, Dr. Edmondson. Once again, it's a thrill to come up here and present some of the shining stars within our athletic programs. First, I want to recognize, we did talk about it, but we didn't have them here, our wrestling team who won their second in school history district team championship this year. And we have head coach Dan Hines, who also serves as our athletic trainer. Coach Hines was also, he was nominated for the MWA Regional Coach of the Year. And actually, our assistant coach, Darian Holmes, was nominated for the MWA Regional Assistant Coach of the Year as well. So that's nice recognition. And what I'll do is part of our all league and things like that, we'll do that. We had Sterling Fry, Zarek Thomas, Cortland Oliver, and Damon Brooks were all league.
Wow, very good.
And also Zarek Thomas, Cortland Oliver, and Elijah Williams were all academic league.
Very good.
And we have our district championship trophy over there on the front table. Like I said, it's only the second one in school history, so it's a pretty good feat with a great group of kids. So they were able to, as Dr. Edmondson knows, run into Dundee at the regional, but we did have a couple kids go to regionals for individual states as well. And so we're all very proud of wrestling. Coach Hines, do you want to say anything real quick, or do you want to?
Hi, Dan Hines, the wrestling coach here. This group here, phenomenal group here. We won district. 8 of our wrestlers were brand new wrestlers, never stepped on the mat before. So we're bringing 8 wrestlers back next year. So we're really excited to keep building on with this program. All the support that we get from the district is absolutely instrumental to the success that we've had. So we very much support everything, or appreciate everything that you do, all the support that we get from the district and from the parents and community. And we continue investing in our young guys, and we're going to keep delivering some results.
All right.
And we also have our youth club that is ongoing throughout the year at our high school to get the younger kids involved, elementary, middle school. Our youngest was 3 at one point, I heard. Yeah, so 3 years old. So you can get them out there and get them on the mat. All right, thank you.
Congratulations, young man, congratulations.
Oh, we have some shirts for y'all too. That's right.
You gentlemen can come back up. Sorry for the disruption for everyone. I'll wait for you. So this is speaking extemporaneously. That means you get a microphone, you don't know what you're going to say, but you have to know what to say. So we want to thank you on behalf of the entire community for making our wrestling team relevant. Everybody knows that we're relevant now. And that wouldn't have happened without hard work, practice, dedication. I want to tell the coach you're doing a great job. I remember 2 years ago, you're just moving us forward. And I just want to thank you for that and having a level of expectation for our students. I want to thank those gentlemen who are academic, academic all league. That's outstanding. Listen, it's great to be a wrestler, but to be all academic league says a whole lot. So we want to thank you. We want to certainly thank the teaching staff, and the parents, and the community for pushing these young men forward. So I wanted to say that. We have some things for you here. the same way that we gave our girls team who were league champions. So we just appreciate it. I did tell the coach that, let me tell you something about Dundee. People move into Dundee to wrestle at the age of 3 years old. I do know that. I live there. So they move in from 3. That's why they move in, because of their wrestling program. Okay, not their football program, their wrestling program. So when the AD, Mr. Keskis, told me, I said, uh-oh. But you know what? To be great, you got to play great. You have to play the better team so that you get better. If you beat up on a bad team, what does that mean? Nothing. You take on the giants, as I say to principals, I say the same thing. Take on the big boys, whoever they are. Take on the big schools that are doing great things so that we can chase greatness. So again, I thank you. We have some things here for you. Coach, you gentlemen will get a choice. Now, we got sizes based on what you said, but we're going to give you some choices here. XL, I think 1 or 2 are greater than XL, but I'm going to leave that alone. A couple of larges. Can you help out there? Zarek, you help out, man. You're the man. We have some visors, too. If you want like a visor, we have some polo shirts there as well. Whatever size you told us, that's the size that's there. And if you get the wrong one, I'll try to get you another one.
Here's the other bucket right there.
What do you need? No, I have extra larges, but I only went on the sizes that I was given. Just email me or get it to Miss Gutzman right there. We'll get that for you. Now, remember what I said. I want to see you gentlemen real fast. Remember, I said speaking extemporaneously means what? What does that mean? You don't know what I'm saying. Exactly.
Hey!
You've had great success. Talk to us. Tell us why. And then I'll sit down. You got the mic. Tell us about the team. Tell us about the coach.
This is Zarek Thomas. He's our only senior this year. He just signed with Siena Heights University to wrestle on scholarship.
So my senior year, I just really want to through my whole year of Romulus. So my whole freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, I really just want to make Romulus back on the spot. So I really want to make Romulus back where it used to be back in the day. And for the wrestling team right now, I really want everybody to be a brotherhood, and everybody in the whole school, I want everybody to be united instead of separated. And that's it.
No, that was great. And that's speaking extemporaneously. When somebody gives you the mic, you're ready. And I knew that you could do it. All the successes that you have, I knew that you could do it. So thank you for taking the challenge. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for the parents for coming on out. Usually, Secretary Piles wants to take a picture. I don't know. But we good? Oh, no, she wants a picture. So come on. And we'll get this done and then move on. Coach. You're in there, man.
I didn't earn it.
No, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Gotta look tough, right? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Those who did not get a shirt, that wanted a shirt, could you, Mr. Oz, could you tell Ms. Gutzman right there? That's not right.
No, just all league stuff. I don't know if they're all here. I mean, you can if you want to. For sure. Yeah, okay. Okay, we already recognized our all-league wrestlers, but our other sports this fall, we had, for boys swimming, Sean Carter. I don't know if he made it here tonight. I don't think he made it here tonight. Okay. For bowling, we had Caden Budai, who also was a state finalist in the MHSAA, finished 21st. And for boys basketball, we have a Elijah Searcy and Alicia Searcy. I can't talk all of a sudden. Searcy. Jesus, I can't. I need some water. All right. And then, of course, girls basketball, we already had mentioned the league champions, district champions. They're all league players, Karma Jones, Sierra Hughes, and Samira Searcy. Paris McCarthy was also nominated as the BCAM Region 1 Coach of the Year. And I also found out that All Metro Dream Team honorable mention Karma Jones and Sierra Hughes as well on MLive. So there might be some more things coming down the road for some more of our girls in terms of newspaper recognition, different things like that. So those of you that are here, if you want to come up, we can take a photo as well.
Now, when you're all league, that begets another gift, but I have to work on what that is. Congratulations. Oh, where did he sign it? Kuiper. So the Searcy's are both signed to play basketball at Kuiper. And I know we have Amari Lacey for football will be signing on Thursday. I'm not sure where he's going yet. So a lot of great things happening with our kids individually and our teams collectively. So as we continue to move forward, again, if we're able to provide facility upgrades for our kids, it's only going to help our kids reach higher levels of success. There are a lot of opportunities that we could have here in terms of hosting different things that we're not able to because of our field right now. Kind of going off topic, but it's really important for our kids and our families and our coaches to be able to get the tools we can give them. We've got some great things down the road coming up, and I'm proud of these kids. They're resilient, and they work their butts off in the weight room, in the classroom, and represent Romulus very well. So I look forward to the spring. We have a few sports with baseball, softball, track, middle school softball and baseball right now, all getting underway next week. So I look forward to hopefully having a bunch more kids here in the spring for their academic and athletic recognition as well. Oh, one last thing. You got a list, the board got a list. April 6th was National Student Athlete Day. It's a national not holiday, but a recognition. It's a holiday for me because I'm an AD, right? But we had about 50 kids in our high school earn that recognition, which is a significant percentage of our teams overall. Again, and that's an academic award tied into their athletic abilities. And again, just proud that we have a bunch of kids that really do what they're supposed to do, work hard, and do it in the classroom as well. So I thank them, and I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Keskes, for bringing this and shining a spotlight on our students. Athletics and education, academic. Our students, and Romulus is going somewhere. It is so nice to be able to come out here and support and recognize our students. Thank you so much. Next on our agenda is public comment. If anyone wants to speak, if you can turn in your public comment forms.
I only have this one. So. Rita Hampton.
went to that governance special meeting last week, and it talked about filling the air with just useless. If you listen to the presentations, they give you all the answers, but I believe some board members are trying to figure out questions, therefore they don't hear it. Some people say, I tell people that, well, the new people, they don't ask questions. I said, because they're new and they read their board packet and they go beyond the board packet. So, I just say an amen to that. I know that's what you do because you act like it. Keep answering those empty questions they call air. Now, what I want to say, and I don't want to take too much longer, but it occurred to me when I was at that meeting that last week, the governance training or meeting, the facilitator asked a question, and I'm being a sociology major and lay person, I watch body language and listen to the tonals of what people say. The new elected board members had let's go, let's be together, and we want to move on. Oh, I remember when I was like that, and everything will be better. But then came to the old board members, and I do say the old ones that's been here, what they said. You know what? I came with the conclusion, they're going to do it again. Not one. I said, dear Lord, please let one of the board members say, we did the wrong thing. We shouldn't have done what we did, but we did the wrong thing. We almost collapsed this district, but they didn't say it. And that's because they're full of hubris. That's pride. You didn't do the right thing. You did the wrong thing. And you almost lost us. What I'm going to say, and it's not going to take long, you need to resign. You have no more juice. You lost. The people of Romulus won. You have nothing to offer. Like Tupac said, you lost your juice. You're here doing what you're doing, just talking into thin air. No one's listening. You have no purpose. It's too bad. I was sick. Let me see how many absences that is. About almost 10, 16, 20 absences. I was sick. You didn't get sick until Dr. Weatherspoon left. He was asked to leave because we were done with him. You didn't get sick until you were asked not to be president anymore because you didn't come quickly with the board packets. That's when everybody got sick all of a sudden. I hope you recuperated well in Florida, perhaps in Boca Raton. That's all. Resign. Because I'll be back up here again saying the same thing. You serve no purpose. Thank you.
Is there anyone else with forms that needs to be turned in right now, please? Anybody else? We're going to wait 1 second. I think there's someone that's filling their form out so we can. Thank you, sweetie.
Sandy Tenney?
These are two students that attend Lake Elementary.
Sandy said she bypassed it.
So,
They both want you guys to, no, you guys need to hear how unsafe they
okay,
feel. It's
no, no.
Getting ready to announce them,
So
sweetheart.
I'm just, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. I can't make up the first name, but Ms. Shoulders? Okay.
This is Madison.
Madison.
Madison Peterson.
Okay.
We can move.
Yep.
Kelly. Madison.
And who, and the other student, I'm sorry, can we,
Her name is Callie Kreitz.
thank you.
name is Madison.
Hi, Madison. Okay.
They can't yell at you. If you feel unsafe, you have to tell them.
You can say what you need to say, sweetheart. Don't be afraid.
They can't. If you guys feel unsafe, you have to tell them. You guys don't want to be there,
Would the other student like to go first?
right?
Madison?
Have not been to school for over a week. These students have not been to school in over a week. And the reason why they haven't been to school and don't want to go to school is because the staff make decisions on whether they should be in school or not, whether they feel safe or not. And the stuff that's going on within the schools that teachers or authorities don't think they hear, don't think they know. It gets back to us. This is going on week 2, besides the break they was just on, because my daughter never returned from the break, and she don't want to go back. She doesn't feel that it's right for y'all to make decisions on whether they should be in school or not, whether y'all have bomb threats or any type of threats. They don't feel safe around all the teachers. Y'all have bullying going on that has not stopped. Y'all are not doing anything about it. I have school kids that go to school and skip. Don't even go in the building, get off the bus and skip middle school and high school because of bullying. I will come here every week if I have to until something gets done. And I know one person in general that's not hearing nothing I say and that's not going to do anything. So I'm asking the other members on the board to do something about it. I don't care if you got to vote them out, but it's not right. I'm already going to tell y'all what the parents are talking about next year. I'm withdrawing my daughter from Romulus and sending her to Westland because of her unstable situation. There's other parents that's not here that says they're going to purposely not send their students to school on count day. Purposely not send their students to school on count day because we want to be heard. We will not send in any supplies, no hand sanitizers, no tissue, no nothing. We're not sending it because we are not being heard. So y'all ask for crayons and stuff at the beginning of the school year, y'all not getting it. Our children don't feel safe. I get calls every day from the middle school. That's right next door to my daughter's elementary school. Because she skips. Y'all have these two in elementary school not wanting to go. And her son, that's not even in state, he doesn't mind not being in school because he was personally bullied, and the child is still in school.
Thank you for your comment. Who's next?
Sandy Tenney.
This is something good, you know. A few years ago, Dr. Edmondson, you went to the class reunion. Remember, it was a good time. Just to let you know that one of the gentlemen from that class has just received his doctorate. It's Raymond Moss. He is Dr. Raymond Moss. Now, you're having the engagement by speakers program next year. I did get a hold of, in fact, some from that class. And I just thought that maybe you'd want to know. One of the replies I got was, could we he said we, because he had talked it up around, one of his colleagues, could we donate back that $300 stipend to a scholarship fund? So that's the kind of alumni that we have that are willing to be speakers, that are willing to give back to the school, not only of their time and expertise, but also monetarily. Just thought you want to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tenney. Next is our consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion. A, approval of the minutes for the Board of Education, March 20th, 2023 regular meeting. And B, approval of the bills for payment as submitted by Business Manager Sarah Kahn in the amount of $865,777.21. And C, approval of the personnel actions as submitted by Human Resources Director Kevin Brock. Employment of Jessica Johnson, social worker at RCS, effective 4/3/23. Tamara Bonzi, counselor at Romulus High School, effective 4/3/23. Stephen Perger, special education teacher at Romulus Elementary, effective April 25th, 23. And Shantiqua Spencer, social worker at RCS, effective 4/24/23. We have the resignation of Ms. Hannah Winkles, teacher at Romulus Elementary, effective, at Wick Elementary, effective 3/17. Move that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Madam President, I had, if we could move the minutes, there's not, I noticed there's not a motion for support for the adjournment. So if I can make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended with removal of the minutes, so we can just have a correct record.
Support. Do we have a motion by Piles, support by Wester for accept the agenda with as amended?
Piles, yes. Kennard,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Wester.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We're at the report of the superintendent, so you have the minutes.
Yes, so. And I apologize for not sending this. I was still going through this today, but adjournment, it shows adjournment, 7:39 PM, moved by Wester. The support by Kennard was not noted, so I just want to, when these get posted online, make sure that that is added. And then Evans had contacted me about her absence being excused, and that should also be listed.
I
Since,
spoke with her about that. I
so
was gonna get with
just to
Paula
reflect
do
on
that,
here?
yes.
Okay. So, motion to accept the minutes from Monday, March 20th, 2023, with those two additions.
Support.
Piles, yes. Wester,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Kennard,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Evans, Laster.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Dr. Edmondson.
Thank you to the board and to parents. So I'm going to digress just a little bit from what I have, because as a teacher, I used to say the same thing I'm going to say now. Does anybody know who William Lawson is? Only me, because William Lawson bullied me in the 5th grade. My name was Ben Edmondson. He kept calling me Ben Gay over and over and over. And I hated going to school because of William Lawson. The irony is that I ended up going back to be the teacher at the same school, and William Lawson came up to me and apologized and said, "I'm happy to have my son in your class." But the damage was done, okay? I do understand as a parent, and one of the things that I was going to do for next year is this, is that we explain to parents that there is a process. After you go to the teacher and you go to the principal, then you should see the superintendent. I can't, there's this idea that I know everything. I don't know everything. I only know what I know. So I'm encouraging parents to understand that there's a step to it. Not necessarily coming to the school board meeting may not be the idea, but it does bring attention. But what I don't like is when we have a school board and parents make a comment and then they leave and then we just keep going on. It just doesn't feel great, but that's just how things are. So for everybody to know, and this is going to happen next year as well, I've only been here since February 1st, in case people don't know that. So I'm back, okay? And the reality is that we want to make certain that parents know what the process is, okay? And that's our responsibility. It's not my responsibility, but it's our responsibility to make certain. So when they come and say something to the board, your question should be, did you talk to the teacher first? Did you talk to the principal first? And so on. Now, I need not discuss what I've done at WIC, but I say the first week of school, I was on that bus because I heard the same thing. I heard those same things that others have heard, okay? There's only so much that the superintendent can do because I'm not the principal of the school. I am the superintendent of the school. So when things do get to me, I will certainly address them the way that I need to. But the first question I will always ask is, did you go to the teacher and did you go to the principal? All of our schools should be safe, all of them. I think we all know what it's like to be bullied. I'm sure every one of us can name who the bully was because it's that drastic. It is that impactful. So, just for the parents to know, I was already at that school, but I'm also at the middle school every Wednesday. Everybody knows that. There's a reason that I'm there every Wednesday, and that's not what a superintendent does, generally. They're not there, okay? I've been at all the schools, and I will continue to be. Bullying is not just a kid problem. It's a parent problem. It's a societal problem. I'm not saying parents bully, but some do. Some do. Putting people's names out there and coming into schools telling the kid, I understand the emotion. I have 2 kids. I definitely understand the emotion. But there's a way that we have to also do that. But bullying is a problem. But I will say for everybody in this room, look at that board right there. If you look at that board, look at the top left. The top left says 4 general ed social workers, because we understand what's going on. And it's not just Romulus. I need everybody, but that's where your kid goes. You're not worried about the other school district. You're worried about yours and your school. But we've been working on this because we understand what's going on, not just here. So we've already hired 1 general ed social worker, which we're very excited about, and we're working on 2, 3, and 4. Because this is not just a problem here, but I'm not worried about the other school districts. I'm worried about ours. Okay, trying to get to parents sometimes is very, very difficult when you try to get to them and the phone doesn't work, or the numbers changed, or all the other things that we deal with as a staff. Those are the things that we deal with. So it becomes an issue. But what I'll say to everybody and any parent, I would still say, oh, I care about safety. Saying that I don't, that would be wrong. Clearly you don't know who I am and what I've done. But it will continue to be a priority. I'm going to have a conversation because I am aware of certain students at WIC in particular. I've heard about them. I've actually met all 3. But that's not an issue that I can talk about publicly. But I'm aware, and nobody deserves to be bullied. And sadly so, these girls will remember their bullies forever, just like I remember William Lawson, and that's the story that I always tell students as well. Nobody knows him but me. He's still with me. Now, moving right along, I put out something to the board about we had a needy family. We did quite well as a community. As I told the parents, it's not an RCS thing, it's a community thing. I don't care what school they went to, it doesn't matter. When parents beget that kind of misfortune, some of them are self-inflicted. I'm going to still try to do what I can for them if I know about it. If I know, and I personally ran into this one in this building. How? Because I spoke to them. Because that's what I do when parents come in. So I wanted to thank the district. I did it publicly, an email, and it was $2,100. I went all this weekend with my wife and I, talking to the parents and doing what we had to do. So I was really proud of our school district for everybody that came together, and those that couldn't, I understand. But we did quite well by that family. And I told you, I put some of the items that we got, but they were quite pleased. Next, Amazon Books. I think that you've seen it, but if you haven't, on our Facebook as well, we're definitely making certain that we market the district. So that the Amazon visit, and there were parents that work for Amazon, and they came here. Amazon donated 1,000 books to all of our elementary students. The book is about teamwork, though it's Amazon, but it's still about teamwork. So I'm hoping that teachers get an opportunity to read it. Okay, it's not a quick read. It's a kid's book, but it's definitely not it's just not at a 5th grade level, I would say. So we have those books, and we're really excited. They donated them to WIC, and now they're going to every other school, and they're donating more. As I said to Amazon, we will continue to be your partner. Partners, it's not somebody who just takes. Partnership is about giving as well. So I talked to them about some of the things that we might do, and that's not my responsibility, but I think it's a partnership. So I'm talking to principals about what we can do. I think Amazon should get some thank you letters from kids. That's the minimum that we should do, the minimum. So our kids, I had talked about sending our kids to Amazon, but they will not give a tour. I got the tour. It was fascinating, just fascinating. But they're not going to do that because there's a safety issue. But as I said to Amazon, that's not my first ask. I'm glad we got books. That's great. But we want bodies too. We just don't want books. We want bodies. We want partnerships. We want our students to be able to have an opportunity to do an internship or leave straight from our district and go straight to Amazon. Don't pass, go. That's what we want. So I just want to share that with you. I was very excited. So I had mentioned a reorganization plan, and I'm going to continue to mention that. Just right now, I've mentioned it to the board. I put it out there April 24th. We've been working laboriously working on this for the last 5 weeks. I have 3 questions, or these are the 3 things that drive the reorganization plan. 1, does it align with our district what is that called? What is it? Partnership. I couldn't remember. Does it align with our partnership? And these are questions that I welcome the board to ask me. Does it align? There are 3 questions that will pass the test. Number 2 is, does it align with our budget? Does it align with our budget? And the 3rd one is data. Do we have data to back that up? That's why we need this, or this is what we're doing, data. So I've had an opportunity to work with the team and look at some fiscal things that we've done. There have been some other things that, unfortunately, as I described today, that you just can't come, and this has nothing to do with anybody. I'm just talking about facts. Is that you have to respect the teachers' union and the RASA agreements. You cannot circumvent them, okay? You can't circumvent. We're working as partnerships, and we're working as partners, and we're working collaboratively. So I just can't come and just say, boom, I'm going to create this job. Yes, I can and I can't, but you have to meet with the union leadership to discuss what you want. So maybe I don't put that in there, but it's a give and take. And as I said, and I haven't shown you specifically as a board, that I walked into 18 unfair labor practices. 18, and we were going to lose for sure. As a district, we were absolutely going to lose. So we made an agreement that we will work with the leaderships and make certain that when we do things that they're done in order and they're done respectfully. So that does have an impact on some of the reorganization. But we're so excited. I know Dr. Gardner is, Dr. Meese is there, Mr. Brock. We always laugh because it's Doc, Brock. That's how we do it. But we've been working really hard as a team. We have now taken up, 3 out of the 4 of us have been principals before, from elementary all the way up to high school. So we thought it best not to go and get another interim. We're just not going to do that. We have not taken any pay for it whatsoever. We're not going to take pay. We believe that this is what we should do. So that's what we've been doing, and we work every day. We worked on Friday. We work on Sunday. We send text at 3 a.m. because some people say they get up at 3, so you send them a text to see if they are. But we're so excited. I am absolutely truthful saying this. I'm so excited about what we're going to present to you, and I hope that you have the same spirit, that that's the spirit that is delivered in, those three things, ask me any of those three things in our team, and we're going to present it the 24th. I thought truly that it should be maybe a study session because people are going to get tired. But I want to, absolutely, I would like it to be live streamed because I think everybody in our community needs to see what's about to happen. And it's nothing but good stuff. I promise you, it's nothing but good stuff. And we're very excited just to reveal that to you. Next, that's why we live stream it. You don't have to be here, but you're going to live stream. You're going to be on the phone. Next, summer school. We've been working really hard. And I put in front of you as a board, and maybe for the community to know, this thing. It says ESSER 3 funds. Here's how districts are spending them. So I gave this to the board to understand, and so that you know, just having information, so that you can ask us questions too. How are we spending this money? It was 18 million I got here. I think there's 7 million left. Who cares? Bottom line is it's there. So this is, if you just take a look, you get an idea of how people are spending money. Now, it gets really tricky on here because if you look on page 23, it's just getting bad. Y'all have aged me. If you look at page 23, it talks about staffing, 24% staffing in ESSER. The problem is, and we were guilty of it, as are other districts, when you commingle the money and you put staffing into your ESSER funds, ESSER is going to end in 2025. I know it says 2024, but it's been extended. 2025, when that money goes away, the staff they don't go away. And now we have to figure out how we are going to pay for that. It has happened in this district. Nobody's fault. That's what people are doing. But I'm saying, and I've made certain that we do not put anybody's salary on ESSER funds. We are not going to commingle because, as we saw a couple weeks ago, you see a number that says, 8 million in fund equity. It sounds good until you realize the salaries have been put into that. So that 8 million is going to go to 3 million or 5 million next year because the salaries were built. So my team and I have been sitting together. We brought Mark Graham into the conversation. I know you all know who Mark Graham is. We've had what's her name? Shelby, when we had Shelby. And now we have two other people that are helping us. There is no contract. We don't have any contract. They're helping us right now because they're an expert in school finance. So you have somebody that was in Ypsi and some other places, somebody in Dearborn 7, who's just helping to make sure every decision that we make is fiscally sound. Okay, we are negotiating 4 contracts this year, and we're excited about what we'll be able to do with your support, certainly. But we want to make sure that fiscally sound is the first thing, and that we do. You know, everybody really thinks now that they're going to get paid a ton because there's ESSER money, and there lies the problem. ESSER money is a one-time thing. If I want to give you a bonus, yes, I can do it out of ESSER, but I would never put your salary in ESSER so that everybody understands. So those are some of the things that are going on there. But now, summer school, last year, you know, as you look on there, and I said it, summer school is one of the major expenses for ESSER. Yes, you use ESSER money for that because it's here, it's gone. Next year you use it, it's gone. So that might be something, I don't know what's on our plan. But I looked, and I'm with the team, we've knocked out a summer program. And it's a little bit more extensive than it was last year. And I was like, ooh, it costs a lot of money. But that's what we're supposed to do. I'm not in the business of keeping money here. We're in the business of taking care of kids. When you look at the data's bad. And I don't blame students, I don't blame parents, I don't blame the staff. There's a lot of confusion. So when we reveal what we reveal to you on the 24th, you're gonna see we are poking holes in it. We're talking about it every single day so that when we get up here, it's succinct and you understand and you're proud of the plan. But I don't blame not one staff member when I think about what I see. It's just been a hodgepodge of stuff. It's nobody's fault. It just is. Year after year, or different leaders are here, then a new leader comes in, does his or her thing, new leader. That's just what happens. So we want that to stop. We definitely want it to stop. So summer school, we're looking at 480 kids. Elementary. That's half of our kids, a little bit less. Look at the data. The data indicate that we have a serious issue here. I'm not worried about Taylor or any other school district. My responsibility is to the kids of Romulus, period. So that's a lot of kids. At the middle school, I'm going to be making certain that I share this with you too, 150 kids from middle school. Now, let me tell you what the criteria is. If you fail half of your core classes, oh, you're going to be in you're going to be in summer school. Half? And we already did the math, so I already know already how many we have. And we have 77 that have failed half. That's not bad. Out of 400 something, that's not bad. I'll take that. But that's right now. So that's the criteria for middle school. And it's coming out to parents in a hot minute. I'm going to put it out there. If your child fails, half of the classes in their core class, actually, that's not true. I took away science and social studies because I said that's not their fault. But English and math, that's our responsibility. And the reason I say science and social studies is because the curricula, most of us know that have been in this district, no. Can't blame a kid for that. We just can't. So you'll be hearing about that. So that's a higher number too. We're also looking at 4 days versus 3 days, or 3 days versus 4 days. Okay, somebody said to me today, like, can you get the staff? If we can't get the staff, that says a whole lot, and I'm not blaming anybody. We can't get the staff to help our own kids. So now I have to think about 3 days versus 4 days. Because if you want staff, maybe you say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that means they can do Friday and Monday and have 5 days. I'm willing to do that. I'm thinking about, I want our teachers here. That's what I want our teachers. I want somebody from another district come here and teach our kids. So that'll be coming out too. High school, a little bit different. It all depends on what I see. You know, those who are behind in credits, that's a definite. Why do you think we're on the partnership plan? We can't graduate. So that's another thing that'll be coming. Those three things, well, I'll start with, those are three, but I said that all of this is done to stabilize the district. Our district needs stability. And I'm going to share this with everybody. Ask anybody in the state, they know who Romulus is. Anybody in education knows who Romulus is. I'm not blaming anybody, period. Just move on. Move on and be a team, and let's move this district forward. So we're trying to stabilize the district, and you can do it when you have stable staff. We're very excited about the 4. They didn't even get up yet. The people that we hired, don't tell me people not going to come to Romulus. That's not true. That is not true. Not if we hired 4 last week. In 1 week, we hired 4 people. Okay, it's got to be the priority. And we've got to have some stability so that people want to come here and they know that we're working hard to become a destination district. Next, marketing. How many of you saw the billboards? They're everywhere. They're everywhere, the billboards. Of course, now I'm taking lumps because I put Eagle Country and not Eagle Nation. Sorry. I mean, seriously, sorry. I'll fix it. I'll go back again. I'll fix it. But I think it's the young people. They created Eagle Nation. I'm telling you, folks my age, they're happy with Eagle Country.
How old are you?
I'm 54. Feel like I'm 64. So we have this extensive marketing plan, and you all saw Mr. Ellison here to help us out. But there's no sign that you're going to ever see that says, Romulus, we're enrolling. I refuse. We need to tell people we're enrolling. If they want to come and they see signs or they hear good things, they're going to come. They're going to do what some of you, all of us do. We just Google it. Okay? We don't have to beg people to come here. I'm not begging people to come here. If your product's not right, they shouldn't come here. If you have a good product, they'll come and you don't have to beg them. So that's coming, you know, with our marketing. We have, I made certain for the board to know that the signs are all in 48174. That's where they are, except one, 275 South. When you come in Michigan Ave, coming south, I did today. I saw the sign. It's an electronic billboard that says Romulus Community Schools with the us, and it has one of our students, Brooklyn. She's in the preschool. It's a beautiful, and we have some other ones too. But you know, again, you can promote, we can put all the pictures up, all the billboards. If we don't have a good product, people care less. So we have to really work hard on our product. I'm very aware of that, and we will continue to do it. Now, I did ESSER article. I think I'm done. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Edmondson. Next on our agenda is the report of the Director of Human Resources, Mr. Kevin Brock. I was ready to say doctor.
Doc Brock, that's it.
I have no desire at this age of, this point in my life to go back. Madam President, Board of Education Community, I was asked by Trustee Kennard to provide a human resources update. So I'd like to do that for you this evening. If you could put the first slide up for me. So first, I know they were introduced, I know their names were said, but I did want them to come up, stand up, so you could put a face with a name. And moving forward as the Human Resources Department, I'm going to do my best to bring that every new hire to the board so you all can see what they look like, see who they are, ask any questions after if they decide to stick around, because I'm going to let them leave. They have families they get home to. They're sort of doing this as a favor to us. But I think what's most important in the last week, between the contacts of the cabinet, we have reached out to people that we know and have expressed what we're doing here, and they want to come work here. So I think it's important for you all to know that the things that we are doing, it's an exciting time to be here in Romulus. It's exciting to be before you tonight. It's exciting for us to reach out to our contacts and say, come work with us. We're doing great things. And for them to say, yeah, I'll come take a look. And when they take a look, they're blown away at what we're doing. So first, let me introduce Shantiqua Spencer. Shantiqua is going to be a high school social worker. Here's what's great about Shantiqua. She has the ability to supervise those social workers who need to be supervised to get the correct credentials. She said she'll do that for free for us, right? No, I'm kidding. So we are trying to put the right pieces and the right puzzle pieces and the right people on the bus so that moving forward, we can continue to hire our general ed social workers, and Shantiqua can supervise them to get the credentials that they need so that our kids can get the support services. Jessica Johnson. Jessica Johnson. She will be working with elementary and RECC social worker, special education. Great story about Miss Johnson, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell the story. As we were interviewing Miss Johnson, she had said that she was a student from Ann Arbor. I immediately texted Dr. Edmondson, and I said, hey, you might want to pop in here. You might know this person. And he did, and absolutely was a former student. So, again, unbeknownst to anybody, it was awesome. Miss Gina Lewis. Miss Gina Lewis. So Miss Lewis said in order for her to work here, I had to take a few of her kids, and I don't know that I'm ready for that. I have 5 of my own that I sometimes like. Miss Lewis is going to be doing our accounts payable, so we're excited to have her. She comes with many, many years of experience in accounts payable, being an administrative assistant, so we're very blessed and fortunate to have her. Mr. Pergar, Stephen Pergar, special ed, he will be at Romulus Middle School. Great story about Mr. Pergar. Mr. Pergar reached out to me via email, and he said, hey, I hear that you've landed in Romulus. I've had a great offer from another school district to make a lot more money, but because you guys are doing the things that you're doing, I want to come work in Romulus. And he has a ton of experience working with kids like ours. So he's going to help move this district forward. So thank you for coming, Mr. Pergar. We also have Miss Tamara DeBosny. She is signing on as a high school counselor. I'm afraid to ask how it's going, but I'll ask later. So Miss Nabozny, going great. Good. So I checked in on Miss Nabozny day one. She happened to stop over, and I said, how's it going? And she's like, you know, my senior babies, I'm getting through them. I'm doing their credit audit, so I'm trying to get through them because we've got to get them graduated. So day one, she was already embedded, looking at things, trying to get things done. Tamara comes to us from 30 years of experience as a counselor, retired, and then I called her on one day and I said, hey, what are you doing? And I expressed to her kind of what we were doing, and she came and met. We were walking out, and she said, oh my God, I didn't know how much I missed being around kids. So I'm hoping that's still true 2 weeks later or a week later. She's still here. I'm hoping to woo her into staying into next year. She is committed to the end of the year. Again, the great things that we're doing. So I thank you all for coming. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for signing up and joining this journey with us through the contacts of all of our cabinet, reaching out to people that we know, bringing in great talent to help our kids. Okay, so as Dr. Edmondson has alluded to, Dr. Meese and I, one of our focuses, and I think I've shared this with the board before, one of our main focuses has been the social and emotional support of our students. We're looking at the hiring more social workers. The mental health of our students is vitally important. I think it was Dr. Edmondson who said, and I have experienced it as well, having 5 boys, I didn't think that I would ever be in a situation to have to answer some of the questions that I've answered as a parent coming out of COVID. I've had, so where I live, 2 of my sons were friends with 2 of the kids that were injured in the Oxford shooting. How do you handle that as a parent when they come home and you're trying to help them understand? The first call I have is to a friend of mine who's a social worker, and I'm like, you got to help me as a parent help my sons get through this event because they're scared to go back to school. So our first goal, Dr. Meese and I sat down, I think it was day 1, and we said the mental health of our kids is vitally important. So that's been a focus. So we're looking to onboard potential social worker at the high school, another social worker, special education at the middle school. We are currently onboarding 2 ambassadors at the middle school. We are interviewing our second round tomorrow for the Director of Integrated Technology tomorrow. We have several candidates who have put in now for the Finance Director as well, again, through reaching out to contacts that we have. So currently, I pull this right off of our system, and it does look overwhelming and somewhat daunting. We do have 38 open positions in the district, and I won't go through all of them. But I will say this, I'm meeting with building level administration next week, starting with elementary principals, so that we can get a hold on what the needs are for the district moving forward into next year. So there has been somewhat of a hold on the certified teaching staff. Not that we don't need them, but I was sitting in a meeting where a principal said, and I'm glad that they're direct and that they're telling me what they need, but one of the positions that we have posted, they looked at me and said, it's not a need anymore. We filled that position some other kind of way. So those are the things that I want to get to the bottom of before I start hiring or overhiring staff moving forward. We do have student support staff, and some of those are listed. So you'll see meta instructors, paraprofessionals, still social workers are posted. So that number 13 still includes the number that we have on the board. We are in need of occupational therapist. So these numbers are broken down by position. And then these are the positions continued. 3 central office, Director of Finance, Integrated Technology, 1 administrative assistant. And then obviously we have 6 athletic openings, 1 security, 1 adult education. So that's a breakdown for the Board of Education. It looks like it's overwhelming, but I will say hiring 4 candidates with the possible of 4 more in the next week or so. We have really made a dent in that list of people that we need in this district, and it's not just hiring a body. I believe we're hiring great candidates that are good for our kids in this district. So,
Just to add something, Mr. Keskis, I believe Mr. Steven back there is a soccer coach, as was I. But, I'm like, maybe we can grab him for soccer, for boys soccer, just saying.
I got a cell phone. I can give you a cell number. Are there any questions from the board?
I do have one question. Thank you for this. This was very helpful. Have we noticed the incentive that was provided for referrals? If a staff member refers someone, are we getting takers because of that specifically?
So we are getting takers more at the ancillary level, so our custodial maintenance staff, we're seeing a little bit of an uptick for that. But I think I just need to do a better job of promoting that. But we are telling folks that if you bring somebody on board and they're onboarded and here the probationary period, you get the incentive. So I just need to do a better job of it. But we are seeing an uptick.
Thank you.
Let me add to that real fast that the people that we just hired, we all knew in some capacity, and that's how this business and any business works. It's not about friendship. It's about, hey, we're trying to move this district forward. This is where we're going, or somebody worked with you before or came from a different district. But yes, the ones that we hired, all of us had some connection, and it's about relationships. It is all about relationships and how you get people to come. And we didn't have a rose-colored glasses, as he said. We sat down with people. It was really neat last week because we didn't have school. There were no kids. So we were able to sit with everybody and be honest about our district, where we are at this very moment. Not the past, we were just talking about where we are. So we every one of us forewent any kind of bonus, because that doesn't feel right anyway at this level. It just doesn't feel right. But I believe somebody did ask, well, why can't I, what was it? Dr. Meese, you were saying something like, with the bonus. Yeah, because that's how we do it. Okay, right.
so I can speak.
No,
to
you
that.
weren't
I can
asking
speak
for
to that.
yourself, not at all.
There was a question
as Right. to
whether somebody could then make a donation.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
But we also said that if somebody was, if the referral came from one of us, but we knew somebody in the district that also knew the person that would speak on their behalf as a reference, that we would also consider that as well. So that was part of that conversation as well. So, yeah, servant leadership, we are not taking, it doesn't feel right. These people are here because we have relationships with these people, and bigger than that, they want to help kids. They want to work with kids. So whether we know them, whether we don't know them, but why wouldn't you want great talent in here helping our kids? So, other questions?
I have a question. Security. I see you have one. We approved and we have gotten grants for 3 additional SROs. Can you elaborate on those positions?
I can certainly elaborate. I know one is coming next year, so we had to, it's 0.5, and then we have to pay for the other 0.5. At this current moment, we're thinking that it would be at the middle school, which just seems like it's makes the most sense. However, we do have to know, and everybody should know, that an SRO is just not assigned to the building.
Right.
They're there, but, when we need something else. So we're very excited about at least having that opportunity, and then others will come. I think it's a 3-year commitment. I don't know if there were 3, but I know that there was a 3-year commitment.
So, and
Three?
I
Only
also,
got the one.
to speak to that,
Thank
the police force have to have the bodies to give us. And I know that I'm going to be working closely with the police to figure out if they have those bodies, because I think right now they're still short road officers. So, but yes, working diligently on that. Yes.
Another thing to that point is, I know when they added that grant, they also, the Office of School Safety and Security added a requirement that all of our new SROs hired under this have to go through that office's training, and it's offered on certain days. So if we want a specific start date, we'll have to be mindful of that too. And I know our PD is
August.
shorthanded, so.
It's August.
It's,
It's August.
are we able
already
to
had that.
get like retired police officers or from the county or from other areas or just our PD?
Great question, and I appreciate you bringing it up. I have been in conversation with another school district that only hires retired police officers, and their retention rate is 50%. So they hired 10, they were able to retain 5, simply because not every retired officer is they're not cut out to work with kids. So although it's a great opportunity, I'm just saying, I'm not opposed to the idea, but again, I'm doing my due diligence because I want to do the retention. I don't want to just hire retired officers and then we have a different issue on our hand, and they just need to want to be around kids, and that's hard to find. So, any other questions? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Your next one is labor
Do I have another
negotiation.
slide? Did you add a slide? Oh,
You have 4 items under your list.
oh,
It's your,
oh,
B
okay.
is the labor negotiation.
Apparently, I have another update. So we are currently in conversation and discussion with 4 of the groups. We do have a couple of meetings upcoming without violating any kind of negotiations. I can say that they're going well. We are in the process of really finishing up some language discussion with our teachers group. We have a commitment from the secretarial group to reopen a wage reopener. We're going to meet with them on the 24th of April, I believe, at 2:30. She's shaking her head. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, so negotiations are going well. We've had some people working, again, relationships that I have from other districts who are helping us. A member of the finance community who works with, I'm going to say, at least 12 other districts sort of on the side. They're a retired Dr. Gistinger is a former finance director for Brighton. She also is a professor at Michigan State, and as well as Walsh and Oakland University. She's helping us in the negotiation piece. It's somebody that I have a relationship with, and she's helping us doing some projection models, some cost models, which I will be happy to share with the board in closed session when that time comes. That is something that I do want to bring you up to speed on when we kind of come to a tentative agreement so that you all are aware of where we're at and what we're doing and what the costs are. And so she's helping with that as well. So really good negotiations. It's a real collaborative effort. Again, not unlike what I'm not used to. So it's been very, very collaborative. That's it. I'm good. Any questions?
Nope.
Mike's shaking his head, so I must have said the right thing.
We're at C. Would someone like to read that motion, please?
Move that the Board of Education approve Gina Lewis as a full-time accounts payable coordinator for Romulus Community Schools effective April 17th, 2023.
Support. Motion by, Davis, supported by Wester. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote.
I'm sorry, President Wester, I do have a question. Did we get a contract
I have
signed?
a signed contract.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call vote.
Davis,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Piles, yes. Kennard,
Yes.
Wester,
Yes.
motion carries.
Well,
Welcome.
welcome aboard. And can someone read the other action item there?
Move that the Board of Education approve the resignation of Dan Scott, Interim Director of Human Resources, effective March 13th, 2023.
Support.
We have motion by Davis, supported by Piles. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote.
Davis,
Yes.
Piles, yes. Kennard,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Wester,
Yes.
motion carries.
And that is the conclusion of the report of the Human Resources. Thank you, Mr. Brock. We have the report of the Finance Office by Superintendent Edmondson.
I'm always amazed when I see my name there, but, I didn't say no. I see the duplicate approvals of bills, and I know some questions came across email today, and I think Paula, or no, it wasn't, it was Sarah Khan, maybe had responded. I'm not certain that you all got that response because she gave it to us, but Sarah Khan had said that that there was a duplicate, but then the following week had the previous one. That's what she said. I'm just saying, so I didn't know exactly, what am I, I'm not speaking on finances, but did I miss something? That's all.
The one thing that's missing is, okay, we
Glasses.
realize that, glasses.
Need my glasses.
The one thing that's, we realize that this is the motion to make a formal quote, but we need also then the check register for the March
For the March
13th,
13th.
So
13th meeting.
you need the check register.
Right.
For us to approve that one.
And that motion also then.
Right.
Okay, so that's
Let me write
missing.
that down. Okay, thank you. And frankly, that shouldn't happen.
Yes.
It's just between all of us. I mean, it starts with me, I guess I'll start there, but between all of us, that shouldn't have happened. I mean, I think we all know that, and I thank you for your graciousness and making certain that we do it right. So I will get to Sarah, and I will make certain that we get that for you.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Move that the Board of Education officially recognize the bills for payment in the amount of $1,867,588.91 as approved at our February 27th board meeting. February 27th approval will be the official approval of these bills for payment. The March 13th approval will be disregarded. Rationale Business Manager Sarah Khan has addressed this issue on February 27th. Bills for payment were board approved in the amount of $1,867,588.91. The same bills for payment were brought to the board again in error on March 13th. This was a duplication of the February 27th approval. This error in part was due to a recent vacancy in our accounts payable position and miscommunication. It is requested that the February 27th meeting approval be official approval date of these bills. Budget implications, nothing. There are exhibits for both motion sheets for payments.
Support. We had a motion by Evans, supported by Kennard. Is there any discussion?
I do have a question, Madam President. So we strike this here, and then, of course, our minutes from this meeting that we approve next meeting will reflect that. Do we need to also pull the minutes from the 13th and have those revised. I'm asking because I don't know procedure for that. So we can maybe look into that and,
I don't believe we need to. If this is going to correct that, and
Okay.
then at the next meeting, we'll have the corrected version from the
Okay.
March 13th so that we would have those.
Okay.
So we'll have a running record by minutes.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Sorry. Evans,
Yes.
Kennard,
Yes.
Piles, yes. Laster,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Wester.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Piles, did you vote?
Piles, yes. Motion carries. Yeah, I did after Kennard.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Did it after Kennard. Next on the agenda is the report of the Manager of Operations and Facilities, Mr. Bill Garland.
Good evening again, Board.
Good evening.
I'd like to start with a FYI on our project completions. I'm very happy to announce, since we've been discussing security tonight, that all our night lock devices were deployed with a total of 651 throughout the district. There were 22 installed at the administration building, 52 at Barth, 50 at Hale Creek High School, 255, middle school 114, RECC 43, Romulus Elementary 62, and Wick Elementary 53. Second, the carpet project that was started and is completed at Wick. We just have a couple little items that they have to come back and take care of. So we want to thank the board for that as well. Update on the student drop-off. We have, our sidewalks are in. Excellent job. We went over and we really surveyed them. Very good job putting those in. 6-inch thick sidewalks. Curb faces are 18 inches. Packed very well. We're waiting on asphalt companies to open up. They should be open beginning of May, so we anticipate having it completed and all the asphalt done by the middle of May, and then we'll be able to reseed all that area, the front of the middle school and all back. Also would like to inform the board that tomorrow we begin our long-awaited security audit. M6 Global will be in, meeting with different administrators at different buildings, touring our buildings, our facilities, our air handler rooms, our pool area, every aspect of our building. They will then, they'll be here throughout the week. They will meet with Dr. Edmondson, I believe, on Friday. They will compile a report and then give a report to the board concerning our security issues. Okay, so we can, I guess, if there's any, are there any questions? Anything I can answer?
I had one question about the night locks. First, thank you for those door locks, and thank you for updating us and letting us know that those are in. And I know you worked hard on that and made sure that that happened, so thank you, thank you, thank you. My only question regarding that is, now that they're in, does, I've never seen one, I don't know how they work. Does staff all know how they work? And when we have subs, which we often do, is there something in the room so a substitute teacher would know how to instantly, you know, make sure they're activated if needed?
We're about now to send out the videos. Most of the staff are aware of how they work. If I may, I'd like to show you one of the devices here. In this box here, actually, it's on the other side of the door.
It's on the other side.
Yes, there's a device. Yes, that, and they didn't do those because that's an exit. Okay, so there's a little device that clips in, and I'll bring, yes, that slides in the bottom of the door, super simple, right in the door, and you cannot get that door open. Yes, and they actually, Mr. Hanson actually assisted, because we realized that when we first bid out the project, we were doing one side of certain doors where you could be on either side of that door, so we needed to install two. So thank you, Mr. Hanson. So we were really excited about it. was a lot more extensive than we thought. Thank you, Dr. Meese. He's always so helpful. So this is the device. It's anodized aluminum, super light, if you would like to. And this part slides into the door. That goes into the floor. You're not getting that door open. Okay, we're good? You guys?
So they're in all classrooms?
They're everywhere.
Okay.
They're classrooms, libraries. Yes. Oh, sure. That'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful. They're in our cafeterias, anywhere where we might need to shelter in place if something were to ever happen.
And because our doors, our exterior doors are already locked at all times, no one needs to go around and check the perimeters, correct?
Well, those, you would not put those devices on anyway, because those are exits. It's against, like, fire marshal, for an exterior door.
Right,
to have
but
one
they're
on.
locked from the
They're,
outside.
our policy is all exterior doors are to remain locked at all times.
Okay.
We have the double buzz-ins at some buildings.
At one point, was there a part of the phone system that could automatically lock our doors, our exterior doors?
That was discussed about building it into a project
Okay.
to where we would have one panic device that would lock all the doors. But that's quite extensive. It's
Okay.
quite extensive.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garland. Any other questions for Mr. Garland on that?
Cameras. Are all cameras working?
No.
Thank you.
Well,
You answered
okay.
those.
Yeah, we have about 256 cameras. And every time we have a power outage, and this is why I'm still going to come to the board for an upgraded suppression system, because every time we have a power outage, it'll take one or two cameras out, depending on what building it is. So what we do is then we replace those cameras. So the cameras that we have just replaced, there are still a few more on order. I think there's a total of 6 throughout the entire district out of the, I think there's 258 total. So 252 are operable and 6 are down right now.
How
Those
often are those checked? Oh, I'm sorry if you were, how often are those checked? Because I know that there've been times, like we've heard certain cameras haven't been working in buildings. Are those because of power outages, or could they be other things? And how often do
can
we
be.
do?
Yeah, yes, Trustee Piles. It could be, at one time we had a leak in Wick Elementary and it destroyed a camera. It leaked down on the camera, shorted it out. It can be from damage from a student sees one, throws a rock at it, and can break it. Typically they're very resilient, but that has happened. Most of the time, though, it is damage from DTE. Let's just be straight about it. We spend a lot of money repairing things because of our grid in this area. You guys all know it. I mean, everything fails around here. Wind blows and we don't have power at Barth.
So do we have monitors that are displaying the feed from our cameras that ambassadors or somebody in the buildings can see? I mean, not sit there all the time, but they can see that a screen is black and we know that that camera is out and we can get on it prior to an incident?
I'll speak to that because on Wednesday of last week, I sat down with the ambassadors. I actually went into their room and talked. And I saw the cameras. I was like, oh, I didn't even know. So I walked in and I saw all of the cameras. And I'm like, wow, thank goodness. Thank goodness that they have that. And I know principals know how to use this too. So we're able to go back.
Yes.
I'll give you just an interesting story. I came out of the high school and I went out the back way and I said, I've smelled that smell before. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So then the principal went and he checked the camera and it was a parent. It was a parent. So we have all the access to be able to find out everything. Even in this building, you have the access. People can pull the videos and that's how we're able to address certain things that happen, particularly when it comes to an infraction.
So Dr. Edmondson, my question, I know we have that. I guess my question was because in one of our elementary buildings, it was after the fact of something. when when they went back to review footage, that's when they noticed the camera was not working. So my question is, are there monitors that are regularly displaying video feed that we have security ambassadors or somebody looking at, and they can see, oh, this is black, this camera isn't working, and we can have that repaired?
So typically at our elementaries, our principals have those on their monitors. You walk in their office and they're on. We also have given access, Roxanne has helped me with this, to our administrative assistants because they feel a little more anxiety coming back after COVID. And so they wanted access to be able to look at the cameras as well. Absolutely want that. So we've done that with several of them. At the high school, it is ambassadors. Mr. Petty looks at it as well. I know that he's been on there. And then at the middle school, it's our ambassadors. Herb does it as well. And even at different times, administrative assistants have helped with that.
Thank you. And then my last
But
question.
let's add to that, though. Nobody's just sitting there watching it.
No.
Sitting,
Right.
watching. That's,
Right.
Our
No.
ambassadors are moving around
Moving
just so
around,
that
right.
everybody knows they're active.
No, I meant like if you look at, and I had said that, so thank you for reiterating that. We don't pay anybody to sit there and watch our monitors, and they do that. My last question is, all of our buildings have those, well, I know at least our elementary schools, I think our middle school, we have the new secured entrances, so, to come into. We had heard, and we don't always know because we're not there, but some of the doors could be pulled open. We don't know if that's fact or rumor, but have all of our entrances now been fixed, secured, and unable to just pull them open?
As far as I know, when we have an issue, we address it, we get it repaired. There were a couple doors that the actual core was flexing in it, and we had the company come back out and fix it. Now, it was an interior door, but you still could pull it open. I will say this, that, again, when you think of just the number of devices that we deployed, 651, that tells you how many doors are in the district. And so, in some of our doors are end of life, so there's a little more give than normal. But we try to stay abreast of that. We constantly are fixing locks. Please look at our cost for doing that. But there are times, and I want to say one more thing about the cameras. Understand, the timelines are so difficult with getting camera replacements. You find one that's bad, you go ahead and you get it, you order it, you have the tech come out. It takes so many weeks to get one, and I don't know why it's still like that. I was hoping by now we'd be past those COVID issues, but it seems like we're still having them.
Thank you.
And I will say one more thing concerning this. I know I'm running long here, but after our audit, I'm sure we're going to get some recommendations about where we should add more cameras.
Yeah. And no, the doors, I was talking about just the entry doors, that we were getting reports that they could be pulled open. So I just wanted that checked.
Thank you, Ms. Piles.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, if someone would like to read the action item for the sports complex, please.
Move that the Board of Education approve the services for replacement synthetic turf as detailed on the Game On Shaw Sports Turf Budgetary Proposal 3, dated March 31st, 2023, and running track replacement at 37300 Wick Road, detailed in the Goddard Coatings Company information, dated September 20th, 2022, as follows. $724,440, Game On Hybrid 2.0, Shaw Sports Turf. $23,192, Game On Goalpost, Shaw Sports Turf. $182,650, Goddard Coatings. $10,000, Goddard Coatings contingency cost recommended, for a total of $940,282. Pricing includes the Shaw Sports Turf Field Direct Purchasing Program using Sourcewell Contract Number 060518 SII.
Support.
I have a motion by Davis, supported by Kennard. Is there any discussion?
I have one question about this because it's sinking fund, Madam President. Because this is sinking fund, will Barton Malo be involved in this project at all, and will we have to pay, so we don't have to pay them any percentage of this project? Okay, thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
And one other question, I'm sorry. Will the final design come back to the board for approval before it's a go?
Yes,
It'll be on the 24th. I mean, on the 24th. Yeah, of April.
It meets our timeline.
April 24th, meet the timeline?
It's just design.
It's just design.
Yeah, I mean, we should be able to
Because of
have
the
that
font
agreed
and the-
upon with our stakeholders, whoever is chosen to be on that
Be a
committee.
part of that committee, right. For your
Yes.
font and all that little fine.
Yeah, that's what it
fine-tuning.
was, yeah.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Davis?
Yes.
Kennard?
Yes.
McCarthy?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Piles, yes. Laster?
Yes.
Wester?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, board.
Can I have someone read the next motion, please, for the food service equipment?
Madam
Move that the,
President. Go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Move that the Board of Education approve the presented purchase of food service equipment from CKEP USA Commercial Kitchen Equipment and Supplies, quote/job reference number 29011, as part of the OMNIA Partners Contract R180201 for a total cost of $156,988.54. Rationale, the purchase of this equipment will assist in keeping our food service department's ability to produce and serve our students on a daily basis. The presented pricing is part of the OMNIA Partners National IPA/US Communities/TCPN contract as listed on the presented CKEP USA quote. And the budget implications are the food service fund.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Evans, supported by Kennard. Any discussion?
I have a question. In June of last year, we were presented with a list of spend-down equipment by the food service company. These items were on that, plus other items. Did we not? I know we didn't get some of the items. I know that for a fact. Where is the money? If this is supposed to be the food service fund, was it supposed to be spent before this school year? And why are we approving it again if it was done in June of last year?
Because in actuality, it was not done in June. It was not bid out. And so it was great. It was just taken to a company, Great Lakes Supply. When I seen that, I stopped it. And so then we moved forward with getting a consortium price for the same products, which reduced that, if you notice at that old one, was 200 and some thousand
Right.
by 50-some $1,000. So we did our due diligence, we saved the district 50,000, and so now we're moving forward to purchase it now, and we need to. We have too much money in that fund, and we have to spend it. It's imperative.
Well, and that's why the big conversation took place with SFE last year. What are you doing with this equipment? Oh, we're going to be producing better food. So here we are, a year later, the food is the same. We don't have any equipment updated. What is really happening with SFE?
Well, just
And
let me say
I don't mean
this.
to question you, it's just here we are. We were supposed to be feeding our students better, and we didn't for a year.
Well, not purchasing the equipment wasn't their fault. When we saw that it wasn't bid properly, we stopped the process, and then it took that long to get everything sorted out with a consortium, to go through it, to find the right consortium, to be able to get those products. And so now we're trying to handle it the right way.
So who determined this, all this equipment, and this is fine, we don't know about this, but who makes the decision as to what equipment needs to be purchased? Well, no, who makes the decision as to, like, do you or somebody here in the district know our needs, or is it recommended by food service, or?
Well, the recommendations came from them, but we did some due diligence on checking equipment, ages of equipment, ages of ovens, the type of ovens we have, making sure we have the right type of ovens. And a lot of the little bits and pieces of that, the intricacies are pieces of equipment that they didn't have that they need to serve our district a little more efficiently.
And all of this equipment will be added, will we be disposing of, getting rid of? Is this replacement or just in addition to?
Some of it is addition, but there are some replacement. We have some end-of-life ovens that are already giving us problem. We're spending money repairing them regularly, so we want to stop doing that.
So, Mr. Garland, how will we be disposing of the equipment that we're not going to use? How are you going to dispose?
We'll probably do it much the same way that we have just did at Merriman. We're going to collect the equipment, and we will do a public auction once again and try to get something for it. When you think about the use of equipment like this is commercial grade, so it's constantly, somewhere else might use it less, extend its life.
Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Evans?
Yes.
Kennard?
Yes.
Piles, yes. McCarthy?
Yes.
Laster?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Wester?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Could I have someone read the motion for the furniture in high school media center?
Madam President, move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of Romulus High School Media Center furniture from ISCG, Inc. The proposal number is 121843, and pricing per contracts listed in the proposal for the cost of $202,975.23. The rationale, see the presented ISCG information for additional details. The identified proposal includes contract pricing information, and the proposal is valid for 15 days. The budget implication is ESSER, and in the board packet, there are exhibits. There's confidential information in there. There's the ISCG proposal number 121843, which is dated March 16, 23. And there's also emails from Romulus High School Media Center furniture proposal 32123.
Support.
I have a motion by Kennard, supported by Davis. Is there any discussion?
The question, so these costs that are presented, were these bid out, or is this also consortium pricing?
Excuse me. These are all consortium government prices. They're already reduced by 60%. They come to us at that level. And if most of the furniture that we received, especially when we get new administrators into the district or new people, they love the furniture. So it is high quality. But again, these are consortium, already government-approved pricing. And just to be clear, this is 1/3 of the project for the media center: flooring, carpet, paint. So we'll be coming to you with an RFP for some painting as well soon.
Question regarding the ESSER funds. When was this approved in the ESSER? Which ESSER funding? 1, 2, 3?
This is from ESSER 3. It was part of the ESSER project, the furniture project that you guys approved as $1.5 million, I believe
Okay.
so.
So this is part of that initial motion agreement? Okay.
In like May or something?
Roll call vote.
Kennard?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
McCarthy?
Yes.
Laster?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Piles, yes. Wester?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And if someone would like to read the last action item for bid pack 5.
Move that the Board of Education approve the presented Barton Mallow Builders change order request number 43 dated April 3, 2023 for bid packet 5A. Added project management costs due to bus loop unforeseen underground delays for a cost of $61,368. The rationale, the presented charge order is for project management costs due to the unforeseen underground utility field conditions. Barton Mallow has worked on 3 different field conditions on the bus loop since February. Rerouting the sewer line due to its actual location, relocating the road/sidewalk based on the playground, and lowering the water main based on its actual elevation. Barton Mallow was able to offset the cost impacts from the underground contractor on each of these items with the allowance included in their contract, but the budget but the project, management, and general conditions costs for Barton Mallow will need to be funded from project contingency. Delays are trending at 6 weeks with the total cost impact of $61,368. The contingency balance is $142,881.60. After the change order is issued, the contingency balance will be $81,513.60. There should be no additional underground field conditions as we are moving on to grading and site work. The 81K contingency balance should be adequate for the remaining scope. Budget implications, sinking fund.
Support. We have a motion by Evans, supported by Kennard. Is there any discussion?
I have a comment, President Wester. On the page of Barton Mallow Builders, where there's the change request, at the bottom, it says, items not funded within the budget/contract may, and in most cases, will result in an increase to the project construction cost, GMP, or prime contract. Appropriate prime contract change orders will result. In the case of estimated and quoted amounts, if the final amount does not exceed the amount shown, authorization is given to issue. My question is, and Dr. Edmondson and I had a little side note here, are we putting a percentage maximum on this? They're saying that they can come back and increase our costs.
We pay a percent to them, don't we, Bill, for every, based on the price of our project?
Yes, correct. I mean, it was built into the contract that we would, they get a percentage of whatever the increase is to manage the project. And the management was extensive on this. There were many things that had to change. But I want to make this clear for the board. This was not caused by Barton Mallow. If there's a culprit, it's Wayne County Road Commission. They caused all of this by their delay to approve it. You guys know we increased again and again because of it. Now, all those increases were finalized. This is the management part, which was not built into that for the final part.
Okay, but this management, they're saying they can come back and increase it. And if this is management costs, and they're saying this should be everything according to the motion, right? That this is the final, why would we agree to something that says they can come back and give us an increase?
That would only be under the circumstances that there was another change order. That if we had another change.
Then it should be stated in this, because this contract is for change order request number 43. And I'm a little leery of just giving someone the ability to say, okay, you can give us another increase at your own, reason, at your own
So
reasoning.
does this include their cost there, what is it, 18%, or does it not?
No, it does.
This is strictly their management fee.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with equipment
Okay.
or cost. This is
Right.
just their management fee. And if this is their management fee for doing something, how can they come back and say, oh, we need more management fee?
Well, and they shouldn't be able to. What this was because the project was extended, several months. I mean, it went from, should have ended in November to now, here we are, we're going to end up in June. So that's why the extended costs, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense.
It makes sense, but for them to say they can come back and possibly add more.
We
increase.
understand that the delay was not because of them. But when you read this fine print here, if we agree to this, we're giving them 61,000 plus. If they decide next week that the wind blew to the left and we had a little bit more rain and they have to do something, they're saying they can come back and charge us an additional percentage.
But it would have to correlate with a change
To a
order.
cost, right.
Okay, but,
I understand that,
Right,
but
we
that's not
understand
what this says here, black and white.
okay, so this is
what I can
what should really, this should just be removed in these notes.
Right.
Remove this statement.
Okay,
and
I
then it
can
should
reach
go
out
away.
to Barton Mallow tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and I'll ask them to resend it, without this or with explanation, and then we can resubmit it on the 24th if you'd like.
That's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
I mean, it'll go according to vote at this table, but
So just so we're clear, this amount, the 61,368, this is the percentage that correlates to the price increase.
no.
No.
No, back to the, yes, to the
delay.
bid pack 5A delay, right, but there was a cost of that.
But it's
Associated with that.
it's additional
Yes.
management that they have taken on.
It is their management, no, but is that percentage that's in the original contract, or is this a
No,
different?
this is the same percentage, but it's
Okay.
based on the change orders. They had to alter the sidewalk. They had to lower a
Right.
supply line, an entire supply line for the fire suppression system, things that were unforeseen. But they also extended the project because of the delay. So those were two things that were added
But
to.
that percentage remains constant. This isn't just an arbitrary management fee, is what my question. Thank you.
Correct, it's always the same.
It's like we understand that it's the
Yeah.
same amount, but at the bottom, you have that
I see
fine line. I understand they had to manage the project because of delays, but now they're saying if they choose to, they can add on another percentage on top of this for management.
And if it takes another quote, then it takes another quote. But to just randomly give them access to our funding
But we're
because
just
they want to,
approving what's being paid. We don't care what this is.
anyway.
Yes, we do, because it says.
They brought extra attention with the small print.
I didn't even see that little print.
Look at it. It's just-
But I'm saying, but it's fully in
I'll make
front of
sure
us.
we get
No, like, we couldn't
clarification.
see it. No, that,
I don't know that we can, okay, I know, right? You
Want
want
to
to rescind your
rescind that motion, please?
Or table it?
We could,
Do we table it, or do we rescind it?
We need to rescind it first.
okay. I move to rescind the motion to approve the presented Barton Mallow Builders Change Order Request Number 43 dated April 3rd, 2023 for bid packet 5A, added project management costs due to bus loop unforeseen underground delays for a cost of $61,368.
Thank you. So we need to now motion to table.
Okay.
Go ahead, motion table.
Motion to table until the next meeting, the Barton Mallow Builders Change Order Request Number 43 dated April 3rd, 2023 for bid packet 5A, added project management costs due to bus loop unforeseen underground delays at a cost of $61,368.
Support.
Do we need to vote on the motion to rescind and the motion to table? There was a motion to
Rescind
rescind.
it, we should vote on it.
But we never even voted on the motion. We was in
Right,
discussion.
but a motion to rescind supersedes the motion, so, but there was a motion on the floor to rescind, and we didn't vote on it, we moved right into a motion to table.
Forgot, yeah. So we can do that that vote.
Okay, so the motion to rescind the motion.
Yep.
Made by Evans, supported by Kennard. Evans,
Yes.
Kennard,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Piles, yes, Laster,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Wester.
Yes.
Motion carries. The motion to table until the 24th,
Before was
moved by Evans,
moved by Evans,
supported by Kennard. Evans,
Yes.
Kennard,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Piles, yes, Laster,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes.
Wester.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next on the agenda, I believe we don't have any reports from the subcommittees yet. We need to get those committee meetings together here within the next week so we can get those scheduled out, start moving forward. Report of the board president. We had our first governance training last Monday. Thank you to everyone for coming out. We missed you, Mr. Darcell, but we understood schooling comes first. We had a great evening with Miss Yvonne. Just really going through the first week of really getting to know each other and what we're going to do and how we're going to move the district forward. It was very informative. I want to give a shout out to our central office staff for all the hard work you've been doing It was mentioned by Dr. Edmondson in the absence of our curriculum director that we've had Dr. Gardner, Dr. Meese, Dr. Edmondson, along with Mr. Brock, that have kind of stepped into that role to make sure that our students and our teachers are getting the things that they need to move the district forward with no extra pay added. So I really want to commend you guys for the awesomeness in working together with the collaboration. Also bringing in 4 new employees within the past week. It's moving our district forward. Like you said, there are people out there that want to come to work. And the narrative, like it's been stated, has to change. And people are seeing the change. So being able to work together, I want to commend my board for our communication and working together. Like I said before, we're not going to always agree, but we have to agree to disagree and remember, at the end of the day, we're here for the kids. So I just want to thank everyone for that and everyone that came out and supported our student athletes. It is so good, to really see. We got athletes, wrestling, state level. It's like, come on. We haven't been there in a while. It's good to hear that. Very good to hear that. Thank you, Mr. Keskes, for all your work. Ms. Jennifer coming out and giving us the presentation for the field. Looking forward to being able to get out there this fall with football and rock it, Love it, love it. So now I'm going to move on to communication from board members. We will start with Trustee Laster.
First of all, thanks everyone for coming out. I definitely want to give a thank you to the parents of the 2 lovely WIC students in the back for advocating for your children, speaking up, stepping up. Bullying is zero tolerance. I have a child that goes to the district here. I work in a school and deal with bullying on a daily. It's detrimental to all districts around. And what you said, what your children said, did not fall on deaf ears. We heard you last week. We hear you today. And I commend you on coming back and speaking up. So thank you for that. What Senior Zarek Thomas said, united versus separated, and that's what he wanted to represent. And as a board, we need to lead by example. We have our seniors, our students saying that, so we have to lead and be united up here, whether we agree on everything. That's not gonna happen. We got different personalities, different views, but the sentiment is the students, the staff, and that's what it needs to be. We have this new logo, this new mission. It can't be a golden apple that you bite into that's rotten. We're doing all of this to change, and it can't be the old. We have to move forward with positivity. And I'm not saying everything is gonna be unicorns and lollipops, because we have, it's some deep stuff up here, but we just have to always make sure that we're on stage doing the best thing for the district. And I definitely wanted to commend the Cersei twins on their signing. I was able to attend that. That coach had a high regard for Romulus. He spoke very highly of the community coming out, the students and their achievements, what we've done. I just feel like athletics, we're going back to where we were, but along with the changes that are taking place with just social media, just everything now, we're moving with the Joneses, or how do they say it? We're moving on up, I feel like.
Jeffersons.
The Johnsons, Jeffersons, okay, sorry. Yeah.
I know, right?
It's the
George and Wheezy, George and Wheezy.
It's the Jeffersons.
Okay. Sorry, but yes, it was just good to hear positivity, because as it was stated, people laugh at Romulus. We are the laughing stock, but we're turning that around. So to hear someone from Grand Rapids come out here and say, wow, I've never seen anything like this, go back and spread that, because we're doing more of that. So I want to commend them, their family, their achievements, and representing Romulus well. And thank you, Mr. Brock. You a doc to me, but thank you for not coming with excuses. No shade to anyone, but it's good to hear we are moving forward. We do have people that want to come to Romulus, not talking about hiring in China, hiring in Brazil. No, we have people here, and we have resources. So that's what I want to commend you and your team on. Thank you. I'm done. I'm good. I have to check with my boss to make sure I don't overtalk.
Ms. Evans?
I want to thank all of the administration for being able to answer any questions that were brought to by this table. Every administrator that was questioned about anything, there were answers, not, I'll get back with you. Very, very impressed with the knowledge and the expertise that's happening now. Also, I want to thank the parents from WIC and the young ladies. I feel bad that they were so afraid to speak for themselves. Again, it was heard by this table. I speak on a regular basis regarding the safety of our kids. It is the second thing to our education for the kids. Sometimes it should be first. But you were heard. You were heard. On a personal note, I've only missed 5 meetings in the last 3 months. And yes, I have the right to take some time off. I haven't missed 35 meetings like what is posted on the internet. So anyone who has any questions about my attendance, please just give me a shout. I can give you dates, okay? That's about it. Thank you.
Ms. Kennard?
Thank you. I would like to congratulate our students. Most of them are gone, athletes pertaining to their athletic abilities, and along with the fact that the educational journeys are along and coupled with that. And so we're bridging both the education as athletics as well. And so we know that this is something that we pride ourselves in, and we'll continue to strengthen ourselves in that area. Also to the parent, we heard you the first time. I know I did. And my heart goes out to you and your daughters then, and it went out to you again today. Bullying is something that is all across this nation in terms of in school districts where those things are amongst us. And so we're doing great things. I was happy to hear our superintendent talk about, and explaining the things and the processes in terms of what we go through so that we can address them. I know when I first came to the board, Romulus had a bullying program, and I remember that particular program. I think Mr. Hanson was there. I'm not for sure, but anyway, it was in the high school, and so they had a program where the students came in and they had all these speakers and so forth, and they performed and they talked about what bullying was and what have you not, and it was a mentorship, and I remember that, and we hadn't had that since then, but I think if that is something that we can look into again, where some of these things where students can come and commemorate and talk about and be a part of and address, and I think that'll be a great thing for our district as well. And to the administration, thank you very much for that information that you presented to us today. It was very thorough. We haven't had that in a very long time, and that information will help us make those types of decisions that we have to make at the board table. And thank you very much for addressing those things. And also responding to our information and questions in a timely fashion, Madam President and Mr. Superintendent. We thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Secretary Piles.
Also, thank you to Dr. Edmondson and staff. The information we're getting, the presentations tonight were phenomenal. I know all of you work long days, and to sit through this meeting is adding to your day. So thank you for not just being here, but the information was useful, it was thorough. That is much appreciated. To our students, we always want to hear from our students. Thank you for being here tonight. To their parents, thank you for bringing them. I know your days are long too. Thank you for bringing your children here tonight to talk to us. We do want to hear from our students. Safety is both actual and it's perceived. So we can think we're doing everything and we can have those locks on our doors, but if our students or our staff don't feel safe, that perception is important. So, at any time, our emails are on the website. If, I don't know, they're young, but students can write emails. I give my number out. My number's out there. If students want to write us something, send it here, text. We always want to hear from students. Please take us up on that. Take me up on that. Also, the process for issues, thank you for addressing, there is a chain of command. But if we could, just as a board, also be refreshed on the processes for bullying, for weapons in schools, for threats, what those procedures are, and so that we know, and so all of our building administrators know. And then the last thing is, I know that at our governance training, we came together, and it's nice to have a group of 8 that is committed committed to working together for the betterment of this district and serving students, staff, and families. That alone is refreshing. I know we talked about setting goals. I know specifically as we do our rebranding, and Dr. Edmondson, you touched on it, on if we don't have the programs, we can do all the marketing we want, but if we don't have the substance, our students aren't going to stay or come. So I would like if we could talk about what we're going to do for academic improvement, what those goals will be for our students, and also, most importantly, what the board's role is in improving academic achievement and how we monitor and measure that.
Thank you. Treasurer Davis.
So first, I wanted to say thank you to the parents that came up and wanted to speak about student safety. I feel like that is really an important issue. But I've seen some things, it may be on social media or whatever, but I'd really appreciate it if people start emailing us board members so that we know before these board meetings and are kept in the loop about these issues. You go to our brand-new website, and you can come under the Board of Education and find our emails. I'll read your email, and I'd love to respond to it. Next thing I wanted to talk about, I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Everybody knows I love to talk about music and our music program here. So, Dr. Edmondson decided to show up for our band booster meeting last Tuesday. And as a band booster, it felt really great to know that we have that support from up on high for our music students, our music program. And I brought this up with Mrs. Race probably a month or 2 ago about this event that's coming up, which I thought would be a really great educational opportunity for our students. And here's the second bird. If anybody's interested, Wayne State University's Wind Symphony is performing Carl Orff's Carmina Burana at Orchestra Hall, along with the Wayne State Choirs, the Rackham Choir, and the Detroit Children's Choir, with soloists Melanie Spector, Jonathan Lash, and Denzel Donald, next Monday, April 17th at 7:30. And we managed to secure funding for a field trip for our band students to go and see this performance. I felt that this was really important because Orff's Carmina Burana was initially composed for orchestra and choirs. And this arrangement is arranged for wind ensemble. So it's nice to see that bands get to do these big events whenever they can. And it's Orchestra Hall. It's such a beautiful venue. So next Monday, April 17th at 7:30 for $15, come on out to Orchestra Hall.
Thank you. Vice President McCarthy.
Ego Nation. I honestly don't know how we missed that. I literally start everything with Romulus and end it with Ego Nation. So I'm not saying people are not paying attention, but Ego Country and Ego Nation are interchangeable. But I digress on that. Thank you. I want to give a special shout out to all of our administrators, our community stakeholders, our parents, for coming to board meetings and letting us know about real issues at hand, happening in our district and all the good things that are happening in our district. I do want to give a special shout out to Madison Peterson and Callie Kreitz for being brave and courageous and coming up here and letting your voice be heard. I'm a firm believer in speaking your mind, even if your voice shakes. So I support that and appreciate you all for doing that. Special shout out to Sandy Tenney for, yes, Ms. Tenney, you, for everything that you do for our district and always shedding light and giving a alumni spotlight. One time for Dr. Ray Moss for getting his doctorate. And I want to give a special shout out to our board members. We hold each other accountable. I like that everyone brings something different to the table and do their due diligence. I am enjoying governance training. One big happy family now. And that's all that I have. Again, thank you so much.
Dr. Edmondson.
Great. First of all, to the board, I believe this is our first 7-0 vote beside adjourning. So I think that means a lot. At least it appears that we're going in the right direction. You know, we have to work together as a board, okay? And frankly, people know all across the state that what has happened in the last, doesn't matter how much time. Move on. Let's move on and try to be a team. Like it's a little bit frustrating sometimes when we're not, when we know how to be a team. I'm sure all of us know how. The question is, do we want to be? So I'm hoping, I try to be hopeful when I come here that, you know, we're just on the same team. And that's all I could ever ask for. It's just, listen, give me a chance to move the district forward. That's all I ask, and I hope that we can, you know, just be civil, be civil. I'm not asking anybody to like me. Just want to be civil. Just wanted to cross that out now here. Funding, you had mentioned funding. We shouldn't have to fundraise for something that's right. Okay, that's what ESSER funds is, to provide kids opportunity. We shouldn't be saying who can afford $15. It should be the district has you covered. You want to go? We'll go. So these are things, this is just another example. As the superintendent, you don't know that. I don't know that until I hear it. You hear it and it's like, what? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, you know, if I can find out, then, you know, you have my support, and I will address those things. And sometimes principals don't know, and sometimes they don't want to spend the money, or it's not their priority. Well, it is my priority, and that's for all kids. It doesn't matter. So feel free to ask, and sometimes, you know, you'll get the positives. To answer Secretary Piles, you know, when I say we're working on next year, and we've been working really hard, I can tell you that we have the detentions, in-school suspensions, and out-of-school suspensions. It's going to be clear on what happens here. We have Dr. Meese, who's been great. You know, those of us that don't have expertise in special ed, he does. He does. So when we came up with this idea, he's like, don't forget, okay, when there's a special ed student that you can't get rid of, you cannot, you can suspend them, but there's just a process to it. You just don't suspend a special ed student. So that goes into, for the board to know that we're also working on a principal's boot camp this year in August. There's going to be a week so that they understand. There's a lot of things that principals should know, frankly, that they don't. But they're going to, because we've been talking about how to do that. Some great things are going to happen. We have the Minority Speaker Series. I call it exactly what it is. Not a speaker series, a Minority Speaker Series. That doesn't mean you have to be black to participate, but a lot of our kids look like us, look like me. And they don't get role models, they don't get people, but already I've had some good responses from people, so thank you for sharing that. Every student deserves that, not just black kids. Everybody needs to see people of color who are doing great things in their career, okay? It's about exposure. I was asked about the 6th grade academy. I can't wait to share that. We've been so quiet for the last 5 weeks. We want our parents that have kids in the 5th grade to get this particular option. It's going to be a knockout. That's all I can tell you. It's going to be a knockout. And we will present that on the 24th. I think our parents will be excited. When we share some of the things, you're going to probably be shocked to see how long we've been working on that. So I just wanted to write that down, okay? Thanks to Bill for setting up the sale, the auction. So cross that out. Thanks to Darren for putting our athletics on the map, I guess. Cross that off. Thanks to Roxanne. I said to Roxanne today, I like working with you. I said, this was, I don't know about 2 years ago how we felt, but you know what? Definitely it feels different. And I'm happy to have you on the team. Albite, it's like, okay, we're probably down to 50-something days. Okay. So,
Oh, you counting down.
yes, she is. She reminds us all the time. So I want to thank you for that. And the last thing that I want to say to the board is, take a look at our website and look at the vision statement. And no disrespect, it's six lines with one period. Now, I have a problem with that as an English teacher. Like, come on, 6 lines? Yeah, so, I'm going to ask us at some point to work together because I really want to change that. And I don't want it to be me, but I'm like, for me, I was like, with attendance and longevity, all students will reach their full potential, period. Short, concrete, concise. We don't have to have some great thing. It's a mission statement. And then what's your vision statement? I could explain to you. If you ask me what my vision is, I'll be glad to articulate that. But that's mine. That's not the district's vision. But I definitely have my own vision. But we need to make certain when people are coming to our website now, that it looks the way it should look. Okay? And that doesn't reflect us. It doesn't reflect me. Okay? It's a long statement. I'm not dogging anybody before me. I don't care. What I care about is moving the district forward and that we work on a mission statement and a vision statement, and it will come with a strategic plan. But I just don't like what's up there now because it's too long, and I don't even know what it says. So I'm looking forward to working with you all to change that and whatever we can do to discover as a mission statement. It usually comes with your community helping you with that so that we can identify. But I just ask us to keep it concise, just like I didn't. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Madam President, I have one more comment.
30 seconds, 30
I
seconds.
do, and this is a shout out to Julie Wadsworth at Barth Elementary for going above and beyond to get all of her students, all 5th and 6th graders, the ability to go to science camp. Every year that woman works her tail off to get this done. She reached out, she returns garbage cans to return. She really took the bull by the horn and within 3 days has funded that field trip.
Oh, wow. Shout out to Ms. Wadsworth. Yeah. Motion to adjourn,
Support.
8:17.
All in favor?
Aye.
8:17. Man, we getting late now.